Alright, so what we got here is tailstock out of the Atlas Lathe. So I need to get this part. It was all froze up and trying to get it working again. So put a little bit of coil in there and let it sit overnight, and then came back in. I don't know if you can see, but there's a set screw here, and it broke. It was a flathead set screw, and the flathead snapped off. There was a little bit left. Tried to get the vice grips on it, kind of work it back and forth, wouldn't come off. Heated it up, still wouldn't come out, and then there was really nothing left to grab on, so I ground it off flat and then punched a hole, and then it wouldn't fit in the drill press because this ran into the chuck. So then I put it in the vise, drilled it by hand, and also the drill, see, it's kind of running into the side of the tailstock there. So that wasn't working. So then, yeah, I drilled the hole, but it was a little bit crooked because of I didn't really have any way to extend that. But then drilled that key out, I think enough, and then it broke free. So I put a nut on the end over here. So I just put a nut on here and then gave it some taps, and then I worked it out. So now it's coming, but still got to get it all the way out and then try to also I know you're not supposed to use a vice grip, but this doesn't matter. Why this? So slightly tapping, don't want to damage the threads. Now I'm trying to find a nice long punch. Okay, she's free. So, that Acme thread, this will run up against the back, and as you tighten it, this can't move, so it forces this cylinder in and out. So that's how that works. There's a little key for the handle, and it's reverse threaded. So that's that. We'll look down in here. Alright, so that key's still in there. Hoping that I can put an easy out or something in there and kind of get a hold of that. Maybe even just use I wish I had some reverse threaded drills, but I don't think I do. That would be nice for this. But might also ground a 4-flat, I don't know what they're called, but you sell them, they're like pins with 4 flats on them, and you pound them in and then you can twist it out. But I don't have any of those, so actually I'm going to grab a piece of high-speed steel, 1/4 inch, grind it down and kind of make my own tool for that. So I just ground that real fast, just 4 flats. So we got a little bit tight, but I think if I pound that in, Grab our farmer wrench here. See if we can work that guy out. Okay, so yep, that acted more as a cutting tool. I wish I could drill this, but I'm worried about getting into those threads. I can actually start to see threads, so I'm not going to keep drilling that. Alright, time to look for some other tools. Okay, it appears like it's coming. Slipping a little bit. Hit that one more heat. Turn on the acetylene, hit it with the oxygen. Get a nice neutral flame. Alright. This extractor back in there. You can tell it's all crooked because I drilled that hole pretty good and off center, but I switched to a smaller drill bit part way down, that way I wouldn't get into the meat of the threads. So hopefully when we get this out, the threads aren't damaged. Keeps not wanting to bite. pulling pretty hard. Last thing I want to do is bust this hardened pin off in there, so. I think where it's off center, I think it's starting to dig into the tool, or the tailstock itself. I think that's why we stopped making forward progress. So this is kind of unconventional, but maybe it'll work. This is a T27 driver bit. Maybe I can get those threads to bite. Hoping. Oh, looks like we got. So that hole was off center, so I think the easy out was, or that extractor was hitting the actual thread. So this T27 still has, you know, those ridges in it that'll bite, but they don't bite down as far. Okay, so there you can see that drill bit just started to sneak out of the threads, but I think we're alright. I didn't have enough length. If you look at it, this just didn't have enough. The drill chuck was too fat, so it had to be a little bit crooked, but I did the best I could. It worked out, and I think we're alright. I don't think we damaged the threads, maybe just a hair, but we'll run a tap through it just to clean it out, just to be safe. But yeah, I'm happy with that. For not having the proper tools, it worked alright, and the little Torx set actually worked. I wasn't sure if that would work, but it, so yeah, keep that in your back pocket just in case you need an unconventional way to get something out. Actually, what's the odds of that? I think that bolt I had laying around might just work. Thread pitches match. Appears to be threaded in okay. Oil on that kind of to act as cutting oil. Alright, not too bad. That actually's got a little stub on the end, kind of like what was there. So that might work. So there's the interior there. I have to get that all cleaned out. And here's, I think this is for a face spanner there to back that out. But honestly, might just clean it without messing with that. We'll see if. Alright, so this is actually a bottle of diesel fuel. You know, it's like kerosene, it's good for cleaning stuff off. So I'm gonna kind of rinse it out. Another issue I didn't realize, we got this pin here is stuck. Serious gunk in there. So I just got a really fine grit stone here that I'm rubbing this on. Trying to take any burrs off that I can here. Still a little bit of a lip on that. Okay, so that now fits a lot nicer in there. So that should help that function. Okay, so we got it cleaned up pretty good. Barrel cleaned out. Looks pretty clean in there. We need to put our little half moon key back in. Actually, this one on first. Alright, so the key, or the set screw that was locked in here was the one that was broken, and we drilled out. So I took this rod and ground off the tip so it fits nicely in that keyway. So now, theoretically, we should be able to thread this guy in. So we know we should be there, so let me mark that. So we should be able to go that deep. Actually, I can see it in the keyway there. It's alright. So I just need to cut this off and either put a flat in it or weld a nut on there so we have a little bit shorter. We don't actually have any size at the moment. But that being said, alright, so here's the finished product here. We got spindle repaired, or the tailstock repaired. Moves nice and easy, locks down. It moves its full stroke. Put a Jacob's chuck in there. Back it all the way up. Bottoms out, pushes the chuck out. Put your center in or whatever. So pretty cool. Happy with that. And the set screw, I just cut it off. I left it a little long. I might mill a flat end to put a flathead or weld a nut on or something, but for now it'll work like that. And I think it's a grade 8 stud, but I'm not completely sure, so I might go back and buy a grade 8 stud and put it in there just to be sure, because if this Jacob's chuck encounters a lot of torque, I could maybe see that shearing. Well, actually, I guess this just sits in here, so I guess it would twist this out before it sheared that. But nonetheless, I might put one in there just in case. And this isn't locked down, that's what it's a little loose. But so we're heading nice. Cleaned up the ways a little bit and oiled them, and then I got a different video with making the install plate here for the quick change tool post. There's a different video on that. But I noticed one issue with this is, see how the this hangs out? That catches there. So yeah, when you got a tool on there, it'll actually slide and hit down on the so when it comes down, it hits on this flat here. And what I noticed is you can't use super tall carbide bits because you actually can't get to center. So like this one here is a little lower. I was just testing out to see what it looked like, but it's a little, I had to grind it down low. So what I might do is actually take some of this edge off on this other side, because there's a little bit of meat here. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a little bit of meat there. It's just kind of extra on the edges. So I think if I take that off, then that'll allow the tool to drop all the way down where it touches the old rest height. The reason why this was an issue is because I didn't adapt this plate. I couldn't mill this, so I made my own part to fit in there. So now that adapter plate pushed everything up a little too high. But I think if I just take off these edges on these corners, it should fit, because I don't want to have to redo that. So, but I think that'll work for now at least. So yeah. So that's that. This thing works good. It's a little tight, but these are loosening up as they get worked. And cross slide's looking good. So yeah, that's that. On to the next project, which is that motor back there. As you can tell by the wires, it's pretty scary, and it started losing power once I started playing around with this thing. I could go in and change the brushes and, you know, mess with it, but I got several other motors laying around, so I think I'm going to get rid of this. But I got to do a little math to figure out what speed and pulley size and whatnot. So that'll be in the next video. So, all right, hope you like that, and hopefully maybe that helps somebody out. I don't know, a lot of guys. I don't know if this is a very popular lathe. It's pretty old, but Atlas made a ton of lathes. So if anybody sees this, maybe that'll help when they have to repair one of their own. So, all right, thanks. See you guys later.